set up here. Everybody starts to come in. Go sit and say hi. Okay. Give it a few minutes for people to pop on. Okay. So now that I see that a few people are on, today's topic, ecstasy is what you want. Ecstasy is what you want. You know, like every morning I sat down and I said, I don't know what the heck I'm talking about. I don't know what I'm talking about. So here we go. I don't know what I'm talking about. In the essence of no clue as to where God is going to take us on this. But ecstasy, you know, I talk a lot about following your bliss, following what you really want, leading that fuck yes life, having that freedom-based life. You know, that we were not built to be people. We were not built to be people that just go to work, pay our bills, and get up and do it all over again tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day. That's not our design. Oh, good morning, Amy. That was not our design. So we have this calling inside. We have this calling inside and this desire for something more. We are always longing and wanting for something more. And we're very prone to lean towards pleasure. But then the other side of it is that we also lean towards pain. So we pull in these painful situations. But we are always desiring pleasure, ecstasy, intimacy. I mean, there's not one person that I know and that I have worked with that doesn't basically come to me for, these are the two words that are always used. I just want to know how to have better connection. I just want more intimacy with my partner. You know, it's always, so we use outside sources of where true intimacy comes from, such as our partner, and we're looking for intimacy with someone. So today, what I thought, you know, here's the topic of the day. Ecstasy is what you want. Well, ecstasy and that ecstatic life is truly it starts with us, and it starts with our relationship with the universe, God, something else. So I'm going to use the word God and just keep it simple. But what ecstasy really is it's like we're turning God into our lover. And we're now looking for that intimacy with God. We're now looking for that ecstasy with God. So imagine God as your lover. And, you know, through ecstasy is how we find total intimacy in our life, is actually what it is. We are, everything that we look for is, we tend to look outside of ourselves. But as we're looking outside of ourselves, the reason why we're looking for it is because it is something that we need to connect to inside ourselves. And as we explore that and we move through and we're looking for it here and here and here and we're learning about it, then what we end up doing, and good morning, Michael. Good morning, Michael. Yeah. A couple people popping on. But as we're looking for it, what we really need to be doing is looking internally for that connection to something greater than. Okay, so as we're looking into the greater than, then where are we going to find this? Intimacy arises naturally when we really tune in and we listen deeply to, not just, it's not listening with our ears, it's listening with our hearts, it's listening with our souls. And to find that intimacy with ourselves, we're finding intimacy with God. And it's the only way we're going to find intimacy with any other physical human being in this world, is to come to the self first. and through the self to find that intimacy with God. Okay. So as we're moving forward on that path, it's really, taking those steps, and I'm actually going to be giving, I came up with a homework assignment, because I know I keep giving homework on these. But as we're looking at, what is ecstasy? Truly, I'm pretty sure that everybody that I see on this talk right now is not wanting to just be a project of work, pay bills, work, pay bills. What do we want? We want to bliss. Bliss is, and there you go. Anybody who's listening, just pop in real quick and say, what is bliss? Bliss is what? What is it to you? Now, what is something blissful that you would love to actually spend your life doing? So, I can come up with, I would love to, part of my goals is that I'm traveling a lot more. I'm taking my family on tons of trips, I'm coaching from the beach. I talk about that all the time. Oh, I'm going to coach from the beach. Because to me, that's just like, it's not that I want to sit on the beach. I'm actually not a beach person. I don't sit on the beach. Anybody who's ever traveled with me would tell you that. Nope, no, she doesn't sit on the beach. I'm more of a go person. But to me, just that concept of being able to do what I want to do from anywhere in the world sounds like an ecstatic experience to me. It means that I'm in union with the divine. I'm in union with God, and through that intimacy, my life will open up and expand. Okay, and that is the ticket here. That's what I want everybody to focus in on, is that the union, what we're talking about, that ecstasy, that experience of bliss that we can have as we tap in to this right here, and we really open up in that intimate way to God, to the universal experience, that we can start to, through that, we will start to see that our life will just kind of open and change, and things will just magically come in, and we will start to experience this whole new spectrum of possibility, of experience. It's like, instead of looking so much at the physical, it's interesting because God comes to us in all these different forms. We look at, where do you see God at? Where is the divine lover at? Okay. The divine lover being, it can show up, yes, in another physical being. You can feel like, oh, I've basically just been, I have a article out there, fucked wide open, and it's all about this right here. It's about that expanded experience of ecstasy through another physical person, with the presence of another physical person, and having that opening to the divine there. Sometimes we experience that connection with another physical being, but how do you experience it? And here comes your homework, so get ready. How do you experience that here? So what I want everybody to do today, what I really want you to do today, I cannot impress on you enough, just because maybe it's just everything that happened yesterday, I don't know. I want you to get your journals. I want you to get your journals, and I want you to write a love letter in your journal to yourself. This is not a love letter from you, though. It's not. I do not want it to be you thinking about this. I want this to be a love letter from God. How are you going to hear God? What are you going to do? What do I mean by that, right? So I want you to get your journal out, and I want you just to take a couple good deep breaths, and I want you to relax in. I want you just to sit there. I want you to start to clear the monkey brain. Okay, the monkey brain is all that chaos that's going off in your head, all those doubtful thoughts, all those fear-based thoughts, all those self-sabotaging thoughts, all the programs that media and your parents and religion and your neighbor and your partner and you have created in your head, okay? I want you just to kick all those to the side. And I want you just to tap in, and I want you to feel into your heart. Really, truly feel into your heart. And then just wait into the silence. So much like doing a meditation, you're not attaching to the thoughts. They're just passing by, okay? So they're just passing by. So just let the thoughts pass by. And then as those thoughts are passing by, you're going to come to a point where of just kind of clarity. In that moment is where I want you to listen. And I want you just to ask God for this message to come through. You know, like, God, what is the love letter that you have, that you want to write to me? Now, God needs you to be his scribe, you could say, okay? God needs you to be his scribe. And so you're going to sit there and you're going to just basically write down everything that God tells you in that silence, in that stillness. I want you to listen with your heart, not with your ears, not with your mind. Listen with your heart. And I want you to hear what God has to say to you. I want you to, what does God see in you? Why does oops, hold on, sorry. I'm trying to make sure I don't miss anything. On comments or anything. Why has God fallen in love with you? There's a good one. Yes, that should be a good question right there. Why has God fallen in love with you? Why has God chosen you as his lover? Let God answer just those 3 questions. I mean, if nothing else, focus in on those questions. Okay, so kind of like write those questions down in your journal and then just open yourself up to that message to come through. And you might sit there for quite some time because there's going to be a whole bunch of crap that's going to come and hit you and go, oh, this is, that's silly. You might really have some really belittling small thoughts, the sabotaging thoughts. They're going to come in and who knows what they're going to say. Just don't want you to attach to those. I want you to just go, no, that's mind chatter. Mind chatter, that's the devil. That's my ego. Whatever word you want to put on it, okay? It's the monster in your head, okay? It's not real though, okay? As real as it is, it's not real enough for you to pay attention to it if you just don't give it the energy. Focus in on right here, on your heart, okay? I want you to focus in on your heart. And I want you to ask those questions. What does God see in me? Why has God fallen in love with me? Why has God chosen me as a lover? Okay? I want you really to just focus in on that. And just don't let shame, embarrassment, modesty get in your way. Okay? Because those are all up here. Okay? Just get rid of it. Get rid of it. And realize that if you're really wanting to create that, that fuck yes life, as I refer to it, living freedom-based, if you really, really want to create that and have that, then you're going to have to open up to this divine love affair with the Creator. And as you do that, here's the things that you're committing to. I actually quickly wrote them down. So the things that you're committing to by setting forth, and really this is like, if you want to see creation and manifestation like that, this is a really great path to take. So this is kind of like finding your orgasm outside of sex, because notice, even though we're talking about ecstasy, I have not talked about sex, okay? Because this is not about sex. Sex can tap us in here and there. It's that touching of the big toe of God, as I refer to it. Stolen from David Dita there. But you can only have that here and there. I'm talking about being able to experience this consistently, and opening up to that rhythm of orgasm in your life, to that ecstasy in your life, getting into that expanded being of connection, the love affair, the marriage of self and creator. Okay, so and truly you have to understand that, trying to use words here, especially at 6 a.m. when words are not flowing very easily, to share on something that is a spiritual nature. But all right, back to on topic. All right, so here are the things that you can, the implications of taking God on as your lover. Okay, you commit fully to inhabiting your body. Okay, you commit fully to inhabiting your body. So we talk a lot, and I talk a lot about body. The purpose behind me using Tantra as one of my foundational pieces is that it is all about weaving everything together and not leaving anything out. That anything being the body, the physical body, where the majority of faiths out there will exclude the body. We're talking about pulling in body consciousness, being in the body, embodying ourselves. I mean, if we're not embodying ourselves, who's embodying us? Okay, so anytime we leave something empty, something open and empty over there, something's going to take over. So we need to definitely make sure that we are the ones that are embodying ourselves. So this is like, we are completely in our bodies. We are fully committed to our bodies. We're very body present, very body wise, and listening to. Okay, you welcome pleasure as a blessing. So everybody knows that I do like morning gratitude prayers before my feet hit the ground and my eyes open, basically. Eyes open enough to turn off my alarm, and I close my eyes back, and I do a gratitude prayer every single morning. And one of the things that I do consistently do is, I think, because it's just, I'm thanking God. And one of the things that I constantly thank God for is, I'm like, thank you, God, for the experiences of today. Thank you, God, for the pleasure of today. Thank you, God, for all the blessings that you are bringing into today's day that I don't even know about. Thank you for, and I just keep going. Well, that's like this big of what I'm talking about. But you need to welcome in pleasure as a blessing and look at everything that is pleasurable, really truly pause and be grateful for it. So like, I'm really grateful for my cup of coffee. It is a moment of small pleasure, that first sip where I'm just like, okay? So it can be the little things, it can be the big things, it can be making love to your physical being lover. But thank that God for that moment. Be in gratitude for the blessing, no matter how small or big that pleasure blessing is. You don't, it doesn't matter. Here's the beautiful thing about blessings and gratitude is that if we focus in on those things, they have this magnetic pull, and as soon as we focus in with gratitude around them, other things come to be appreciated. Okay, so really truly appreciate. We're not talking appreciation for here, we're talking appreciation from here, from this space, from your heart. And you really want to start just to appreciate, because you're going to become that, you're going to gain that magnetic pull to have other things to appreciate. Okay, you open yourself up to becoming God's partner. So here we move into that true understanding of being a co-creator. Okay, so we, by focusing in on gratitude, by focusing in on love, by focusing in on ecstasy, we're now opening ourselves up to being this co-creator with God. Okay, so much like a love affair, much like sex and our physical sex, we can say, because I'm going to take this back to that, because we can understand that in a sexual act, two people, maybe more, but we're just going to use the two people are coming together, and they are in unity, right? So they are meeting, they are coming together, and they are having this joint experience, and they are jointly creating the experience. So everything that's happening in the bedroom is this joint creation. But what we're talking about here is that you're now becoming this co-creator, and you're coming together fully, meshing with God as your lover, and the bedroom is your life, okay? The sexing is your life experience. So you're really starting to co-create everything. So you're taking responsibility for that by bringing God in as your lover. You become pregnant with divine light. And that is, you know, that's creativity, energy, that vibe, you know, that's just like you're radiating. And that is also that energy that is very attractive. That whole, you know, experience of being the magnet. So when you are radiating divine light, everything wants to come to the light. Things want to experience the light. They want to bask in the light. So you want to be the light, okay? It also means that you're very, very much in alignment too, because you can't radiate divine light if you're not in alignment to the divine light. So if you are radiating, trust me, everybody will see it. There will just be something different about you, and people might even go, man, you're glowing. You're just so full of light. You're so this, you're so that. Those are like the verbal pats on the back of, yes, here's your sweet spot. Okay, you're in it. You commit to communicating with spirit, for better or for worse. Okay, so then what's the number one issue in our real world relationships? One of the biggest issues in our real world relationships is communication. Communication. And here's the thing, we choose and pick what we communicate in our real relationships. There's many people out there that they'd be like, oh, we're great communicators. I hear this all the time. We're great communicators. Okay, great. And then I get them in there and I start to focus in on the topics that they don't want to communicate about. And it's that for better or for worse. So they're going, oh, for better we'll communicate, but for worse we're not. Or they do something else and they just focus in on the nagging part, which is how they communicate the worse. And then they forget to do the appreciation part of communicating for the better. Well, what ends up happening over and over again is either the relationship breaks up, it becomes toxic, or they just end up kind of just being two boulders that just are not communicating. But they're like, oh no, I communicate. Like, I tell them when I'm going to go to the store. You know, they know this, they know that. So if we do that with God, how far are we really going to get? Now we're co-creating our life here, okay? We're in this love affair with God here. So in that, we have to open up to the communication of the good and the bad. And what I see a lot when I'm helping people on this particular path is I see a lot of people that will they only pray when the shit is hitting the fan. They don't pray in gratitude. That's why I'm such a massive pusher on do your gratitude prayer in the morning, do your gratitude prayer at night. Those two are so important because gratitude, appreciation is a magnet for more things to come in to appreciate. So those are the good things, right? So we're praying to God or in gratitude. We're opening ourselves up and saying, thank you. Well, guess what? When the shit's hitting the fan, we need to still be going, thank you. Okay? Because that moment right there, that stuff that really pushes us, that tests us, that's the stuff that really just gives us the meat and potatoes of what we need. It's in those moments that we are blessed with the opportunity to say, God, what would you have me learn here? What would you have me learn here? What would you have me do here? Who would you where are you taking me? Who am I supposed to meet? What am I supposed to see? What am I supposed to hear? How am I to open up to this in my life? What is the meaning behind this? And here's the thing, sometimes something that really, really shitty happens, and what we don't see because we are not God, we're the co-creator, is that we're we're right here, right? We're right here. We don't see our life picture, but the divine scheme of things sees everything. And in the big picture of things, there's always a reason. So much like when we tell our child, no, you can't do that, we're telling our child, no, you can't do that, because we understand the bigger picture. But the child is right here in the moment and not seeing the bigger picture. Really, like, no, I want that, I want that, I want that. You're that whole experience. If you look at it from a parenting perspective, you can really get it well. So just realize that, in our commitment over some things that are the worst, to commit to communicate about them is not, why have you forsaken me? It is, thank you, God, for this experience. How would you have me move past this? Where would you have me go? What is my lesson? Ask those penetrating questions. Do inquiry like that with God, instead of, why are you doing this to me? Because, did you see the tone there? Why are you doing this to me? That's victim. That's victim. Like, you're doing this to me. What would you have me learn? Inquiry, openness, curiosity, desire to move forward. Not, why? Nothing good ever happens to me. Of course, God, you did it again, I'm never going to succeed at this. I'm going to blah, 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 blah. No. Allow yourself to inquire on those things. So yeah, you guys are quiet again. Quiet people. You guys aren't awake. So as you're moving into this, ecstasy really is what you want. These are the steps to touching into ecstasy. Your soul hungers for ecstasy. You crave it. It's something that you really, really do desire. Every single human being wants ecstasy. We might call it in different things, but we're always looking for it. We look for it in every single possible way. We turn to it. It's what causes our addictions in life. You look at anybody who has an addiction, and what they're actually trying to do outside of block something is they're looking for ecstasy through the addiction, because they're getting these little ooh, that feels good. Ooh, that feels good. Well, they're getting a breadcrumb of what ecstasy is, and they're causing self-sabotage through, they're creating this self-sabotage movement through it. But they're still looking for ecstasy. When we make love to a partner, what are we doing? We're looking for ecstasy. We're looking for that little brief moment of that connection to ecstasy, of something greater than that feeling and that connection. When we take that incredible trip, and we line up the best place to stay and the experience to go on, and we're standing there, at the cliff, and we're looking out at this beautiful scenery. What are we doing? We're experiencing a moment of bliss, a moment of ecstasy. Ecstasy is there because it is that touch of heaven. It is this experience that is so much greater than, and so yummy that we just want more. It brings us great joy. It brings us great happiness. It brings us into this space of feeling so small and yet so expansive. So if you're looking for ecstasy, which I'm guessing you are because you're breathing, realize that you're going to experience, good, you're going to experience bad, and that taking on this experience of bringing God in as a lover, as I'm using today, God in as a lover, is that we really truly just need to open up to our lover. We need to surrender. We need to surrender. Through our surrendering to our lover is how we touch into that ecstasy, into that greater love. And through hearing the words that we are blocking, that love letter, listening to that love letter, receiving that love letter. We have to become better at receiving. So many of us suck at receiving. So, and we all have these blockages. We get scared because we push up against things. We tell ourselves no. The universe isn't telling us no. We're telling ourselves no. We're blocking the love letter. We're blocking the gifts. We're saying no to our lover. We're like, no, I don't need that. I don't need your help. I got this. I got this. So much like a gentleman. Our lover is like, I'm going to try this again. And God keeps trying. But then all of a sudden we just keep blocking and blocking. But guess what? God tries a different way. Tries a different way. I see Addison. I'll read in just a second. So God tries a different way to tap in, to open that door for us, to gift us with something. We at some point have to just go, yes, I want that. Yes, I'm open to that. Thank you. Yes, thank you. If we haven't seen the dark, we can't recognize the true beauty of the light. Yes, exactly. And we all have the dark. It's embracing the dark with the light. But we can't get swallowed up by that darkness. We have to realize, in the darkness, look for that little candle flame somewhere out there, okay? We have to just look for that little candle flame somewhere out there. And when we look for that little candle flame, we just focus in on it, because that's our lover. That's the divine. That's the course. So target in on that little light when you find it. Zone into it. Go towards it. Don't let anything get in your way. And know that all the boogie monsters that you're experiencing in the dark are just illusions. They're just illusions that you could say Satan is throwing in your way, the devil's throwing in your way, the monster's throwing your way. I refer to ego's throwing in your way. But that's all an illusion. So you want to just go for it, because you were created for ecstasy. That's why you created. You were created for ecstasy. Okay, so I'm going to actually close down here, but I have a quote. I have two quotes. Hold on just a second. Ecstasy is what everyone craves, not love or sex, but a hot-blooded, soaring intensity in which being alive is a joy and thrill, that enravishment doesn't give meaning to life, and yet without a life seems meaningless. Diane Ackerman. So yeah, ecstasy. Finding it. Much like Dorothy and Wizard of Oz found out, right? Don't need to go anywhere past your backyard, right? It's all right within your own backyard. Here's the thing. It's all right here. You don't even have to go to your backyard. It's right here. Right here. It's always with you. You're never without it. It's just that you've shut it down. You've shut it down. You're harboring. You're focusing on all this other stuff. Stop that. Stop it. Let it go. This stuff that is causing tension, causing pain, causing negative thoughts, causing negative, supposed, appearing negative situations, experiences, causing you not to prevent your own ability to receive all that ego bullshit. All of that stuff that you're holding on to as though they are absolute incredible little diamonds. Wake up and realize that you are holding on to nothing but pebbles of, it's nothing. It's meaningless. It's nasty. Make it a little bit better. It's actually a little like pebbles of crap that you're holding on to, okay? And you're just holding them dear. And so they're just these precious stones. They're not. It's shit. Let it go. Let it go so that you can experience the blessing that's sitting right there. Because you're blocking your own blessing. Get in alignment with your lover. Open up to your lover. Surrender to your lover. Spread your damn legs open and get fucked open by the universe, okay, people? Just do that. It's amazing. It's a glorious experience. You want it. Trust me. You want it. Open up to it. Surrender to it. And take the universe all the way in, okay? So there you go. There you go. I love you guys. If you find it within your hearts and souls to share this conscious coffee or any of the conscious coffees, whatever your favorite one is, please help me get it out there. Let me see. Quick announcement: Addison, Belle, and I are doing Free Spirit Talk on Sunday at 1 o'clock. Addison, is it 1 o'clock? I will put a little link in here as well in just a moment to that, and that will be on Sunday. It's just going to be an hour of really, really playful conversation. We are dressing up in costume. We're dressing up in costume. We're just going to have a playful experience all on finding the magic in life. So it should be a fantastic conversation, very open. 2 p.m. Sorry, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thank you, Addison. And yeah, so we're going to be talking about finding the magic in life, living that magical life, and different things. And guess what? This is kind of part of it. It's not kind of part of it. It is the foundation to it, okay? You want that magical life? Well, here you go. Go get with your lover, which is God, and open up, okay? But definitely touch base with us there. I will be back tomorrow at 6 a.m. here doing the last conscious coffee of this week, because I'm not doing conscious coffee on the weekends anymore. Just a quick little reminder. I've had a couple people message me on it. So yeah, and yeah, go do your homework. Can't wait to hear about the love letters. Okay, love you guys. Catch you tomorrow. Bye.